Hello my friends, Matthew Deary checking in today, and I am excited about this one because in my hands I hold the Manfrotto 6x6 all-in-one scrim kit. Yes, a 6x6 fits in this case, and I have actually wanted to own a scrim kit for a while. In an effort to add some expenses to my bottom line in 2021, I found this on Adorama and I thought I would give it a try. And so after about a week of having it, I'm excited to share with you my experience owning this, and I'm very excited to bring this into production in 2022. Now, even looking at this as an option, as I was thinking about, do I want to spend the $800+ on this kit, there wasn't a lot of reviews out there. So hopefully if anybody is on the fence about potentially making this investment, you'll find this video and maybe it'll steer you in the right direction, because I am impressed so far. Not to give away the ending, as you will, but I am impressed so far. Something worth noting, I keep calling this Manfrotto kit a 6x6.
Are you stupid or something?
But it's actually marketed as a 2 by 2 and since I live in America and we don't do the metric system like the rest of the world, 2 by 2 I believe Manfrotto says the conversion is officially 6.6 by 6.6, so you get actually a little bit more than a standard 6x6 frame. A constant collaborator of mine, Corey Whipper, and founder of Added Element, we have often run into a scenario where we wish we had a little bit larger diffusion source. We have a 4x4 that we've used on productions in the past. As you can see in the video here, we wanted to cut the overhead sunlight, and we had the two people very close together, but the 4x4 just was not enough to cut the entire light. So we really wanted something a little bigger. One of the initial things that drew me to this kit was the Manfrotto name. It is a trusted name in tripods and the tripods that I use. So associating the quality of the Manfrotto tripods with the quality of this product. And obviously Manfrotto tripods are not the cheapest, and they're also not the most expensive by any measure, but they are also well known for being that kind of great middle ground for quality tripods, not necessarily set for like maybe a cinema camera, but a quality tripod for most everyday uses. And so thinking from that metric, thinking on that quality, that's why I was drawn to this Manfrotto kit. And another thing that drew me to it was the idea of setting up and taking down very quickly and very effectively. And so with the Westcott option, I've used these Westcott tubular options before, which is a comparable price point to this Manfrotto kit. They're not quite as simple to piece together as they might lead on. And initially, they have like little tabs and they slide in pretty well, but as it has more wear and tear, one of the Westcott kits that I've used has been with a gaffer here in the Twin Cities, and his kit is old and beaten down, and breaking apart those tubes and you know, these pieces that make the frame is very difficult, in some instances even impossible, where those are the pieces that just stay together. And considering that, I thought maybe this might be a better option, having used the Westcott in the past. And so like I said, the Westcott is a comparable price point. It does come with a carrying case, and it is a little bit more modular, where if you have more of these tubes, you have the option to build a larger or a smaller silk based on how many pieces of diffusion or fabric that you have. If you have the 4x4 and the 8x8, obviously there's a larger investment into having all of these different pieces of fabric. But from my perspective, having a 6x6 is a nice middle ground between having something that's so huge like an 8x8 and something small that doesn't quite meet all the production needs in a 4x4. As you can see here, I have a Manfrotto tripod bag. It's actually empty because the tripod is being used to hold the camera right now, but they are almost identical in size. The case is a little bit longer, and it's actually kind of more of a hard case. It has fabric, a durable fabric on the outside, and it is a harder, more rigid frame but it's about the same size as a tripod. To showcase the Manfrotto Scrim Kit, I am actually going to use the services of the 600X, which is behind me, another recent edition, end of 2020 expense edition. And so I am going to get that set up, and I'm going to shoot that through this scrim and see the difference in light. Right now I have this old Dracast panel that I purchased kind of at the beginning of my career. It was my first big light purchase, and now it's just in my basement kind of as a key light for these setups. And so I'm going to compare this shot with the 600X shooting through a light dome 2, and then I'm going to compare that with the 600X shooting through the 6x6 and see if we have a nice soft source of light. All right, so I got the 600X Pro set up as well as the light dome. Now I am going to swap out this Dracast light for the 600X with the light dome. I love this light modifier, but hopefully we're gonna see some better results with the Manfrotto 6x6 Scrim than this smaller light source, which is the light dome 2. Ooh, I am looking nice, Matthew. I'm liking this light dome.
Ooh, you good looking.
So as you can see, we have a bigger source of light, and we have a lot more wrap on my face. And then we have the Aperture Nova behind me. Yes, we get it. I like Aperture. And then I just have an old LED panel that's diffused above me, giving me some top-down lighting, which is usually what I use for my table setups, as well as I have a hair light behind me. So full disclosure, I don't really use the light dome.
I don't care.
300 or the 600X for the productions down here in my studio, aka basement. I have a lot of that production stuff stored upstairs for my paid work and client work, just because it's tough to lug everything down and set everything up. And everything that I have down here are kind of lights that I've put out to pasture, and they're a little bit more permanent, where I don't have to constantly be taking this light down or bringing that Dracast around, with exception to the Nova, which I am bringing down to add this punch of light. So again, it's just kind of nice for comparison to see how much difference the light dome makes. So now that I'm lit with the light dome, let's go ahead and open up the Manfrotto kit and get that set up, and we can start comparing even more. So as you can see here, when you take the frame out of the bag, it is a series of interconnected tubes that are held together by a very strong piece of elastic banding. So you really can't assemble this incorrectly. You just line the tubes up and you piece them together. And then once you have the frame assembled on one side, I find that it's easy to rotate it and then get all of the pieces connected, and then you are ready for your piece of fabric. So when you get your fabric of choice, all you have to do is find the corner of the tube and find the corner of the fabric, and then connect these nice little connecting pieces right onto the tubing and move your way around, and within 3 minutes you have a full 6x6 setup. I cannot express how easy it is to piece this thing together. And of course, it was not my first time putting it together, and it feels a little overwhelming and cumbersome when you're taking the tubes for the frame out of the bag. But once you start sliding them together, it really is quite simple. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the 6x6 set up, shoot the 600X through it, see if we notice any difference. Ooh, I am looking really nice with this 6x6. Wow, I'm going to use this every single time. As you can see, the light dome has some limitations because it is a cone and it is a circle shape. And the 6x6 is significantly better than that, so I was able to walk the light a little bit further back, which gave us the opportunity to have a lot more space between the light and the 6x6, and it allows the light to be softer and more diffused, and you can definitely see that with this result here. And so this is just another asset that somebody could add to their toolkit with a small footprint that you would be able to bring, not necessarily where you're bringing a grip truck or, you have a huge cart, but you have the ability to, like I said, have something the size of a tripod case give you the opportunity to modify light in a significant way. Now I am going to break the scrim down, and let's see how quickly that goes. So disassembly took less than 3 minutes as well. So again, one of my big metrics for choosing this option was the speed of setup. Being able to take something off of your cart and get it set up in under 3 minutes, it's a game changer. I mean, obviously that doesn't include the time of putting the knuckles on and getting it on stands, unless you're just gonna be putting it on the floor. But that type of speed of setup is an asset in production when maybe you only have 60 or 90 minutes to get your production ready to go. If you wanna have a 6x6 option, if you're maybe if you're building out the frame and you're pulling a silk out of a bag and then you have to manually tie them, and that's definitely in the more traditional grip option. That just sometimes isn't an option on a 1 or 2 person crew. And the Westcott option, as I mentioned, sometimes those tubes just aren't as reliable as I'd like. And so having some personal experience using Westcott, and really just kind of wanting that all-in-one solution. Westcott has plenty of similar options, some of them cheaper than this, but like I said, I having used Westcott, I just kind of thought I would go a different route, give the Manfrotto option a try, and I gotta say, I'm impressed. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully the information within this timeline will help you make an informed decision on if this Manfrotto 6x6 kit will work for your production needs. If this video was informative, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel. Although we don't really need more subscribers at this point, we're well over 300 subscribers, I know. So, but if you want to subscribe, I mean, I'm not going to stop you. Again, thank you for watching this video today. I will see you guys on the next one. Love you, friends. Okay, that's good. That's a wrap on that. All right, so let's cut this.